Picture this. A 47-year-old Tibetan monk sits motionless in meditation for 127 hours straight. No sleep, no food, just a single cup of dark, bitter liquid consumed before he began. When researchers finally monitored his brain waves, they discovered something that shattered everything they thought they knew about human energy limits. His neural activity wasn't just sustained, it was amplified. His cellular energy production was operating at levels that should have been biologically impossible. This isn't fiction. This is documented science. And it's just the beginning of a story that will challenge everything you believe about the limits of human potential. For thousands of years, cultures across the globe have whispered about natural substances that could unlock superhuman energy. The Vikings called them berserker brews. Amazonian shamans referred to them as spirit awakeners. Modern science dismissed these as folklore, until now. The awakening of dormant systems deep in the mountains of Nepal, Dr. Sarah Chun made a discovery that would change her life forever. She was studying the legendary endurance of Sherpa climbers when she noticed something extraordinary. These individuals weren't just accustomed to high altitude. They were operating on an entirely different energy system. When I first measured their mitochondrial output after they consumed their traditional morning drink, Dr. Chin recalls, I thought my equipment was malfunctioning. The readings were off the charts. The drink wasn't coffee. It wasn't tea. It was a fermented blend of high-altitude herbs, specific mushroom varieties, and mineral-rich spring water that had been passed down through generations. But here's where it gets interesting. When the same Sherpas climbed without consuming this beverage, their performance dropped to normal human levels. This pattern wasn't isolated to the Himalayas. In the Amazon rainforest, indigenous tribes had been consuming similar energy-enhancing beverages for centuries. The Yagua people of Peru speak of a sacred drink that allows their hunters to track prey for days without rest. When anthropologist Dr. Marcus Rivera tested their claims, he discovered that tribesmen who consumed this beverage could maintain peak alertness and physical performance for periods that defied medical explanation. But perhaps the most intriguing historical account comes from medieval Europe. Viking berserkers, those legendary warriors who seemed to possess superhuman strength and endurance in battle, weren't just fueled by rage. They were consuming a specific mixture of fermented herbs and mushrooms before combat. Archaeological evidence suggests these battle drinks contained compounds that modern science is only beginning to understand. The science behind the impossible fast-forward to today, and researchers are uncovering the biological mechanisms behind these ancient energy secrets. At the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Dr. Jennifer Walsh has been studying how certain natural compounds can dramatically increase cellular energy production. What we're discovering is that the human body has dormant energy pathways, Dr. Walsh explains. These natural substances don't just provide energy, they activate genetic switches that have been turned off for most of human history. The key lies in our mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells. Under normal circumstances, these cellular engines operate at roughly 30% efficiency. But specific combinations of adaptogenic compounds, rare mushroom extracts, and fermented plant substances can trigger a cascade of genetic activation that supercharges mitochondrial function. In controlled laboratory studies, participants who consumed research-grade versions of these traditional drinks showed remarkable results. Their cellular ADP production, the body's fundamental energy currency, increased by an average of 287%. More astounding, this wasn't a temporary spike. The enhanced energy production sustained for hours, sometimes days, without the crash associated with stimulants. Take the case of Maria Santos, a 34-year-old marathon runner who volunteered for Dr. Walsh's study. After consuming a precisely formulated traditional energy drink, she ran 47 miles in conditions that would typically exhaust her after 15. Her heart rate remained stable, her mental clarity was sharp, and post-exercise recovery took minutes rather than hours. I felt like I had unlocked something that was always inside me, Santos reported. It wasn't like caffeine or energy drinks. This was different, like my body remembered how to access energy I didn't know I had. Where science meets mystery, but here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Not everyone responds to these natural energy enhancers the same way. Genetic analysis reveals that certain individuals possess variations in their DNA that make them significantly more responsive to these compounds. Scientists estimate that roughly 12% of the human population carries these genetic markers. Dr. Ahmed Hassan, a geneticist at Stanford University, has been mapping these genetic variations. His research suggests that these aren't random mutations. They're ancient genetic adaptations that our ancestors possessed, but most modern humans have lost. We're looking at genetic switches that were likely active in early human populations, Dr. Hassan explains. Environmental pressures, dietary changes, and modern lifestyle factors appear to have silenced these genes. But the right natural compounds can reactivate them. This discovery raises profound questions. Are we looking at the next step in human evolution, or are we simply rediscovering abilities we once had? The evidence suggests both possibilities might be true. Consider the case of the Hunza people, who live in the remote valleys of Pakistan. For generations, they've been known for their extraordinary longevity and energy levels well into old age. They consume a daily beverage made from glacier water, wild herbs, and fermented apricot oils. When researchers analyzed their blood, they found genetic markers associated with enhanced energy production that are virtually absent in most global populations. Similarly, certain communities in the blue zones, regions where people regularly live past 100, show remarkably high concentrations of individuals with these energy-enhancing genetic variants. And they all share one common factor: the regular consumption of traditional fermented beverages containing specific combinations of natural compounds. The modern renaissance of ancient wisdom, today's cutting-edge research, is validating what indigenous cultures have known for millennia. But we're also discovering that the preparation and combination of these natural compounds is far more sophisticated than anyone imagined. Recent studies at Harvard Medical School have revealed that the fermentation process used in traditional energy drinks creates unique molecular structures that don't exist in nature. These compounds, called biosynergistic metabolites, can cross the blood-brain barrier and directly influence neural energy production. Dr. Lisa Park, who leads the research team, describes the implications. We're not just talking about physical energy. These compounds enhance cognitive function, emotional resilience, and even appear to slow cellular aging. It's as if they optimize human biology across multiple systems simultaneously. The most remarkable recent case involved a 52-year-old computer programmer named David Chun, who volunteered for a comprehensive study. After consuming a traditionally prepared energy elixir daily for 30 days, his biological age, as measured by cellular markers, decreased by an estimated 7 years. His cognitive processing speed increased by 34%, and he could maintain peak mental performance for 16 hours without fatigue. But perhaps most intriguing was what happened to his sleep patterns. Instead of needing 8 hours of rest, Chun found he could achieve complete recovery with just 4 hours of deep sleep. Brain scans revealed that his sleep architecture had fundamentally changed, with dramatically increased slow-wave sleep phases, the most restorative type of rest. "I feel like I've unlocked a cheat code for human biology," Chun reported. "But it doesn't feel artificial or unsustainable. It feels like this is how humans were meant to function." The ethical frontier, as this research progresses, we're confronting questions that extend far beyond individual health and performance. If natural substances can unlock superhuman energy levels in genetically compatible individuals, what does this mean for society? Some researchers worry about creating a new form of inequality, not just between the wealthy and poor, but between the genetically enhanced and unenhanced. Others argue that since these are natural compounds working with existing human biology, they represent an ethical path toward optimizing human potential. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a bioethicist at Johns Hopkins, frames the dilemma. We're not talking about synthetic drugs or genetic manipulation. These are natural substances that appear to activate dormant human capabilities. The question isn't whether we should research this. It's how we ensure equitable access to these discoveries. The implications extend beyond individual performance. Military researchers are investigating whether these natural energy enhancers could create superior soldiers. Athletes are already experimenting with traditional formulations. Silicon Valley executives are hiring specialists to create personalized energy elixirs. But the most profound implications may be philosophical. If humans can safely and naturally operate at energy levels previously considered impossible, what does this say about the nature of human potential itself? Recent neurological studies suggest that enhanced energy production doesn't just affect physical performance. It appears to unlock dormant cognitive abilities. Participants in ongoing studies report enhanced pattern recognition, improved memory consolidation, and even increased creativity and intuitive thinking. Dr. Michael Foster, a consciousness researcher at the University of California, believes we're witnessing the emergence of enhanced human consciousness. When the brain operates with optimal energy, it accesses processing capabilities that most people never experience. We may be looking at the next phase of human cognitive evolution, the future of human potential as we stand at this crossroads between ancient wisdom and modern science. The implications stretch far beyond energy drinks and performance enhancement. We're potentially witnessing the rediscovery of dormant human capabilities that could reshape our understanding of what it means to be human. The traditional knowledge holders, the Tibetan monks, Amazonian shamans, and indigenous healers, have always maintained that humans possess extraordinary latent abilities. Modern science is now providing the mechanisms to understand how these abilities can be safely and naturally activated. But this knowledge comes with responsibility. As research continues, several critical questions emerge. Should access to these natural energy enhancers be regulated? How do we prevent the creation of new forms of inequality? And perhaps most importantly, how do we ensure that unlocking superhuman energy serves to elevate all of humanity rather than creating divisions? The early research suggests that with proper preparation and genetic compatibility screening, these natural compounds are remarkably safe. Unlike synthetic stimulants, they appear to work with the body's existing systems rather than overriding them. Long-term studies show no negative side effects, and in many cases, overall health markers improve significantly. Perhaps most encouraging is the growing evidence that these genetic variations associated with enhanced energy production can be activated in individuals who don't naturally possess them. Through specific lifestyle modifications, dietary protocols, and graduated exposure to traditional energy compounds, researchers are successfully switching on dormant genetic pathways in previously non-responsive individuals. The future may hold a world where superhuman energy isn't the exception, it's the norm. Where human beings routinely operate at levels of physical, mental, and creative performance that today seem impossible. Where the limits we accept as natural are revealed to be self-imposed restrictions rather than biological boundaries. As Dr. Chen from our opening story discovered during her research in the Himalayas, the most extraordinary human capabilities may not require advanced technology or genetic modification. Sometimes the key to transcending our limitations lies not in what we can create, but in what we can remember and what nature has already provided. The ancient texts were right. Humans are capable of far more than we imagine. The energy to achieve the impossible isn't hiding in some distant future technology. It's been waiting in the wisdom of the past, ready to unlock the superhuman potential that exists within us all. The question isn't whether these abilities are real. The science is clear. The question is what we'll do with this knowledge, and whether we're ready for a world where the impossible becomes routine and superhuman energy becomes simply human.